In case we haven't met before, hello, I'm Rachel.Kilmer, also known as Rach the Realtor, all across the internet. And today's topic is my passion, and it is all things Kansas City real estate. Let's check in on the pulse of the KC real estate market. We have had a ton of recent shifts. Homes are sitting on the market longer than we saw in the days of 2021, early part of 2022. Back then, if a home sat for more than 2 days, you were wondering what's wrong with it. Now it's very normal to see a home on the market 7 to 10 days. In fact, the average days on market in many parts of the city is over 30 days now. So that is a major shift in thinking, and it benefits buyers. If you're thinking about buying, you don't have to think, I have to drop everything and run and give away my favorite pet to buy a house anymore. That is not the market that we're in right now. Homes are sitting longer, giving you more time to think about a decision and more time to make a wise decision. We're also seeing a lot more price adjustments from sellers. Again, back 2-3 years ago, sellers could put a price on a house, just basically whatever they wanted. They could just wave their wand, put a price on it, and it would sell eventually one way or another, oftentimes even over list price. Back in that market, appraisers were having a hard time keeping up because the comparable home sales were increasing so rapidly. Again, that is not happening now. So now we are seeing more price adjustments because sellers are pricing like they could back in the day, not realizing that now they really have to be smart about their list price. How this impacts you as a potential buyer is it gives you more opportunities to get in for a deal with sellers that have overpriced their home but still do need to move on and sell it. Oddly though, kind of a weird quirk in the market is our average sales price has actually increased by 5.4% from last year as I sit here today. So it's not like home values are decreasing. So it's still a good market to buy in. Home values are still slowly increasing, although at a more manageable pace, but it's a little bit slower. So you have an opportunity to hop in there and buy something in a neighborhood that was really difficult to buy in, like hotspots that I work in a lot are Overland Park, Lee Summit, Prairie Village, and the Waldo Brookside area. Downtown Kansas City is buzzing as well. So definitely some opportunities if you're thinking about buying. Don't let the mortgage rates scare you away. The market has slowed down just enough to get some good negotiating in and maybe snatch up a home in a neighborhood that just would not have been approachable for you a couple of years ago. You might be wondering, how much does it actually cost to buy a home in Kansas City? The average sale price in Kansas City this month was $367,000. That's average. So there's a lot of homes that are costing a lot more than that and a lot of homes that are costing less than that. But if you're wondering, say, I want to buy the average house in Kansas City for $367,000, how much does it cost you? So you can do a minimum down payment of 3%. That would put you at about $11,100 down on that house. Closing costs would be roughly $6,000. You'd have to come up with $500 for an appraisal, and inspections can range really anywhere from like $600 to $1,200 even. So let's just say $800 on those. So the total upfront investment would be about $18,000. In this scenario, again, this is just an average sale price at $367,000. Your monthly payment would be about $3,150. So just over $3,000 a month. But there are so many options to help subsidize all of these costs. Which brings me to question number 3. Is it a good time to buy or is it a bad time to buy? I'm sure you've seen that interest rates are certainly higher than they have been lately, although still not crazy if you look at like the big historical picture. However, it's hard to stomach that interest rate that's up 2, 3, 4 points from what you could have gotten just a couple of years ago. But there still are reasons that it might make sense to buy for you. One of them is you can help subsidize all of those costs. Remember how we talked about it could cost about $18,000 to buy the average home in Kansas City? Because sellers are having a little more trouble selling if they don't price it right and market it right and all of that good stuff, you have an opportunity to get in there and scoop up homes that sellers are struggling to get sold and ask them to help cover some of your closing costs, helping bring that cost down. You also can ask sellers to help subsidize the cost of your interest rate. So what I mean by that is there are programs out there where the sellers put a certain amount of money down, and that goes to your mortgage company and helps eat down your interest rate expenses your first 1, 2, 3 years, depending on the package that you guys sign up for. So that can bring your payment down to a number that's closer than what it would have been a couple of years anyways, but you also got, in theory, a better sale price, a better deal, and had more time to think and make a wise decision that could make sense for you. Another thing that you can do in this market that you couldn't do a couple of years ago is buy on your timeline. Sellers are more willing to work with you and close the deal at a day that makes sense for you. You're not having to offer them to rent back and stay long term if that doesn't make sense to you. So you can adjust the closing date to benefit yourself, not only logistically, but also financially. There's little tricks you can do, like closing towards the beginning of the month or closing towards the end of the month, depending on whether the amount of closing costs you pay matters more to you, or the length of time between closing and your first payment costs more to you. That's when you get with your agent to be strategic. But the point is, with the market today, you have the opportunity to do that, to be strategic and try to get a house that makes sense for you. Yes, at a higher interest rate than what is ideal, but in theory, rates will go down eventually, and then you can refinance out of that, and you got a deal on a house that you wouldn't get in a market with lower interest rates. So those are the three most common questions that people are asking about buying a house in the current market. Yes, it's very different than what it used to be, but that means that there are opportunities that weren't there before. However, I will never tell you that blanket statement, now is the time to buy for everyone. It really depends on your personal finances, your personal situation, how long do you plan to be in the house, those kinds of things. So definitely get with your trusted real estate agent to talk about if the way the market has changed can benefit you, and I would love to be that person for you. I'm Rachel the Realtor, all across the internet on all the socials. Would love to get connected and chat all things Kansas City real estate with you, and perhaps look at buying your own Kansas City home. We'll see you next time.